Yo, what up, everybody? What's up, Wolf? What's up, No Skills? What's up, Taylor? I'm on my lunch break, and I'm just doing. I just want to hang out. I'm just hanging out for like 30 minutes before I got a meeting with Pat and Joanne and some other folks on the Moonbeam team to discuss some things we're doing. So hello. I hope your week's going well. We got some cool things coming out soon. Up front, Realm Creation is being worked on right now. I think it'll come out by next week, and that's going to be fun. So anyone who joins Moonbeam can make a realm themselves right away. That's a big long time coming thing that we wanted to have. So that'll be finally out the door. This will be also allowing us to relook public realms and focusing on reshaping them as well. So we have let's see here. Wolf. Oh no, I hope it goes well. I definitely know they have been cracking down over there with multi-stream. I'm multi-streaming right now too, to Twitch. Hey everybody at Twitch, if you're out there, I'm streaming on Moonbeam. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitch and where else? Facebook. Okay, yeah. So those are the 5. NX / Twitter. So hey, okay, yeah, no skills. Take care. Have a good one. I hope work's not too hard today for you. You know, I appreciate you. But yeah, no, we're doing something new with realms a little bit. So the normal realms that people are used to, we're making them with this new update where the realm owner could allow, by default, someone who just joins the realm to be able to stream to it right away or make posts, kind of like a public realm. And we're relooking that to see if maybe public realms can be more like more robust, like a normal realm. So this is like a little test on that. So the public realms are now a little bit light on features, and so we're trying to tweak all these kind of things in our approaches there. Yeah, I know who streams to Facebook, right? I don't know. Maybe my grandma wants to see it. Taylor, have you thought about that? Hey, Mima, Abuela, how are you? You still have 2 grandmas, by the way. Grandfathers don't make it too long. Poor Poppy and Grandpa. It's funny. I have Grandpa and Grandma, and I have Poppy and Mom. So, yeah, it's weird how Facebook has become just a demographic divide. You know, I want to say I noticed that after 2016, 2015, that's when I stopped using Facebook. Was like around that time. Like, I don't even go there really. You know, things are always changing and evolving. So let's see what else. So we got Realm Creation. We got referrals in the works too. There'll be folks that, if you refer someone to Moonbeam, there'll be different tiers of badges. There's going to be a bronze badge, silver badge, and a is it platinum? Let me see. I think it's bronze, silver, gold, or bronze, gold, platinum. Women live longer, so they can get some. This is true, I guess. You get to peace at the end of your life. Let's see here. Let me see these badges that Jark made that are pretty cool. They look like little hearts. I like them. Okay, yeah. So they're gold, silver, bronze. That's what they are. Let me see if I can show you all. A little sneak peek. Yeah. I'm going to do a little sneak peek real quick. Here we go. Pink. This is our bronze. I'm going to blow. Let's see. What do I want to blow up? I'm going to blow up that. There we go. Hey, this is our little bronze referral badge. Coming soon. We got the silver. Yeah. And we got the gold. Oh, yeah. So that's going to be cool to see that out. So we can help, reward folks that are helping Moonbeam out, and then get to see who they are. That's the cool thing about what we're doing is we're a small team. We're a small outfit. I feel like we're going up against the giants, but it really comes down, we're focused on community, and we want to reward that. We really want to have that communal approach, a very organic grassroots effort. Let's see here. Silent Brad. Yeah, I stopped when Facebook stopped letting news sites post about emergencies when wildfires were raging in Western Canada as the process is... Oh, interesting. Yeah, there was some stuff about that. I know that those were. I know there was a lot of that stuff a couple years ago with Facebook, Meta. I remember Zuckerberg gave like testimony before Congress, and they're like, there was some weird. Meta was saying the government told him to kind of stop stuff, and who knows what. Let's see here. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see here. I have a question. This is from Wolf. I have a question, and if there's no answer, I completely understand given the early state of Moonbeam. But are there plans to increase bitrate and resolution? I think 2K is perfectly fine, and 4K isn't necessary. Hey, what's up, DJ Guns? Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. This is an. I'm going to be super transparent and honest here. Okay, this is what you get when you come to these office hours. I feel like I'm a professor. Welcome to the office hours. Yeah, we would love to do this. We are thinking about this. Actually, today in my meeting in 25-30 minutes with Pat and the team, I'm actually going to be talking about that. Right now, the highest we go to for those who get the upgraded account would be equivalent to Kick and Twitch. I know Twitch has a little bit, maybe a little bit different quality, and this goes back to like server, like Amazon Web Services, and like who's your streaming provider. And it's funny because folks always ask us about that. They're like, AWS, are using them? Who are you using? Yeah, we're using AWS. They're the best on the market for us to use. Easy, reasonable price. So that's kind of why we use them, and they allow like the good resolutions that we could support. Again, equivalent to Kick, but again, Amazon owns AWS, and so I think it's not published or public really, but it seems like their highest tier they say is what Twitch has, but it doesn't. It seems like there's some special juice on their side. That being said, though, I'm interested in looking at ways to do that. Honestly, I think, and I'm going to put this down just a tad. There we go. If I'm being honest, like how I think about it, I think there's a way. That would be like a question for me to ask more Pat of, can we use two different services? Because I know AWS doesn't go up to that high. And if we did, how would we roll that out? I think this would be associated with some kind of, it'd have to be almost paid for by the end user, simply because the cost is very high. And that's why a lot of streaming platforms, you burn, like if you have a bunch of streamers, and let's just talk about like streaming in general, like aggregate level, okay? So at the aggregate level, I believe it's less than 92% of streamers have between 0 and 5 viewers, okay? And it's important to understand the impact. If you have like a free open way to stream, 2K, 4K quality, and everyone's kind of using that, your burn rate for like cash that the company has to spend to support that from a infrastructure perspective is just crazy. Because think about like 1080p, even the highest level we have on AWS, that costs something. Going up to 2K or 4K, you're talking double and then quadrupling the price, right? So that's just stuff to come into consideration. And it has to be, I think, like a real talk conversation with people is like, hey, I personally think that we should have this on Moonbeam. From a business model perspective, I think the only way to realistically have that is maybe only certain people get it. Maybe it's something you get when you get to a certain level, or it's something that you could pay for right out the gate. Because there's pros and cons to doing it both ways, right? If you give it to only people that are successful, it's like success begets success. So then it begs the question of like, you got to kind of have an option for people to get it right away, even if it's their first day streaming. And how do you do that? And so let me see here. I'm looking over at the comments again real quick. I hated AWS when I had to use it at the beginning of COVID. Yeah, it's true. COVID, wild times. I think reducing latency should come before increasing bitrate unless they go hand in hand. So right now, the latency between the two, so there is a 15-second delay right now between my live stream and Moonbeam right now. And so like when the countdown was happening, you would be able to see that. And like on my screen when it was at, the 0 second mark on my screen, when I'm looking at Moonbeam, it was at the 15-second mark. That's something that will come later on down the road to improve. And the reason for that is, again, if you're on Kick and you're using Moonbeam, we're the same thing. When you talk about Twitch, it's a special case because they're getting a better infrastructure that's only available to them. I know Mixer tried to do like zero latency stuff, but that requires the platform to invest in the infrastructure themselves or find a provider who has that infrastructure to support the reduced latency and the increased quality. So again, all this stuff, love it. At full scale, hell yeah, we would want to look at this stuff. Right now, it's just we're in baby mode, and so it's interesting to talk about this because I think I've learned a lot through the process of limitations and costs and whatnot, and so I'm just sharing that here. Hey, Sun Bear, yo, nice. Let's see what else here. Yeah, no, cool. Well, I just went read your other ones. Yeah, I wouldn't be expect to get. Yeah, that's the thing. I think a lot of streaming platforms fail to like be honest with people about that. They're afraid of like, oh, we can't say that. People want to, if you're going to do full-time streaming, like if that is what you're going to do, you might want to invest in that, right? Like you would want to invest in high quality stream. And so you almost, I believe, have to make that available. Again, a lot of streaming platforms are like, we just don't want to touch it, but I'm of the belief of like, no, people might want to have that. If we can have it, let's have it. If it has to be paid for, I'm sure people that are like, again, the full-time streamers or a big business or a brand, I think it should be offered. Let's see here. Oh, Sunbear, you got hurt. You got Sunbear down to 5-second delay. No skills. Wow. On Moonbeam. And right now I'm streaming at 1080 from Restream. So I am using Restream and I am multi-streaming. I know that sometimes there is a difference if I'm using Restream or OBS. Like if I'm doing OBS and I'm doing direct to Moonbeam, it can get there could be some differences in quality, likely better if I'm doing that. When I use Restream, because it's browser based, it's kind of, it could be degraded a little bit, especially when you multi-stream. And then it goes to computing power, right? If you have a really good computer, you could run OBS, get everything super sweet, and then boom. Yeah, 936p. I know a few people are using that. I think Captivator uses something around that too. I don't know, no skills if you know. I know Cappy has that weird resolution that he does too. I think it's the same one you've run. That I'm assuming that's 936p. But yeah. Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's the stuff as we grow we're going to be looking at. Like I want us to be a provider. We'll have some basic services that are free, and when I mean basic is like industry standard, right? Industry standard stuff like we're doing. And then have some unique options that are more exquisite boutique offerings for folks who need them. Because I understand that, is important for the creator at the end of the day and their audience. So, yeah, let's see what else. What else are we talking about behind the scenes of Moonbeam? We've reached out to some folks. We're reaching out to like a few esports teams, some like collectives of streamers that we're talking to. I think the Realm concept really resonates with them. So we're just doing outreach, trying to bring more attention to Moonbeam. And I mean, everybody loves what they see. Everybody loves what we're building. So I'm very confident if we continue down this path, it's just I don't know. I'm a fan. So we appreciate like all the feedback you all give us is really critical, because I feel like most companies, it's hard to take feedback for some people, right? Because it could come off as like embarrassing. I don't know. I know that some people are like, oh, I don't want to hear something bad. I don't want to hear critique, but we want to hear stuff like, what is wrong with Moonbeam? What are, because to me that's the most important thing, is like, what is wrong with Moonbeam? That's why I use Moonbeam a lot too, and then I find stuff wrong with it and I point it out to the team, because you got to be real with yourself. And if we're building something for everybody like you that wants to use it, we have to build what you want and need. So I only say this and share it because some folks have asked, privately, hey, if I want to give feedback or suggestions, where should I do it? And I say, like, put it in the Moonbeam realm, put it in document. You can email it to me. Like, we love that stuff. And it does get read and it does get shared with the team. And a lot of times, as you see, it gets actioned and implemented like right away. I think today on like Blue Sky, I randomly came across a post where someone's like, I joined Moonbeam, made my profile, and I put my Blue Sky link in, and there was some kind of like error that came by. And they're like, I hate this, this kind of sucked. And I wrote him back. I'm like, hey, yeah, we're going to fix that. And I think Pat has talked to the engineering team, and they incorporated the fix into the next update. So like already, boom. And that's because people pointed out something and we jumped on it and we fixed it. Let's see here. No, well, hey, anybody, anyone drunk email in the middle of the night. I'm working on another document that'll be things I noticed. I think, yeah, hey, and we're not looking for big on Moonbeam. That's one of the interesting approaches people have asked a lot of us is, what big streamers are you talking to? And I'm going to give this as a personal philosophy from Anthony. People on the team might have different opinions, so I'm speaking for myself right now. I believe that creators, being a creator myself, there have been really great products I've made for things I create, and they don't get attention at all, and they fail in terms of like getting the numbers I would expect them to get, right? And I could see something that I could see another creator post something or make something and get, through randomness, or there's somebody talks about it and shares a link and it blows up, and good for them. Like, good for them. I want every creator to have that. I wish everybody could have it. What I do think about Moonbeam is, like, no one knows you don't become a big streamer just by streaming all the time, because there's a lot of people that stream all the time. There's a lot of luck involved in that, right? Luck, chance, skill. And so I think like the next big streamers could be here on Moonbeam, and they are here on Moonbeam, and they're going to grow into that role. And so I don't really need to talk to the streamers of today that are big. I want to talk to the streamers of tomorrow that are going to be big, which is everyone here. That's just my personal thing, is the streamers of tomorrow that make it big. That's who I want to build relationships with. I want to be part of that success story with them. I want to make them succeed. The people that already succeed, awesome. That's great. We would love you on Moonbeam too. But I think Moonbeam, to me, the value prop of Moonbeam being a successful platform is a platform that allows streamers and creators who are small to grow, thrive, and succeed. Like, that to me is the most important part. Moonbeam doesn't need to make a big creator who's already successful, because this already happened. The value prop is we want to be able to set ourselves up where anyone could come here and they can grow and thrive and succeed. So I'm sure that because it's very important to me, because that's how I feel is our ethos of why we're building Moonbeam the way we are. Let me go look at some chat here. Silent Brad, all right. Are you able to say which streamers you've talked to? Do you want suggestions of our favorites? Yeah. So who have I talked to? A streamer per se, we're looking more at groups, because I think like the most important. We've talked to a few streamers. They're not big. They're all, I want to say, like below 1,000 or a couple hundred folks, right? They're micro influencer type streamers, creators. And this goes back to like our approach here on Moonbeam. I do think the most important type of person for Moonbeam's future is the realm owner. Creators, they're creators that are not, if you think about where they live and who they are, these are people who are, they wear many hats. They can be streamers, and usually they are, or they're some type of creator. But but they're also people who like run Discord servers. They're the people who manage like the collective of streamers on stream teams, right? To me, that is the person. They're a little bit harder to find because, you know, I know who a streamer is by going on a streaming platform, and it's like, that's a streamer. To me, streamers are the talent, they're the content, they're like the act. To me, they're like the equivalent of like an actor from movies, right? Or an actress. And that's a hugely important role. Don't get me wrong. I think the realm owner in my mind is like the studio director, the studio executive, the person who can like operate and take the talent and plug them in to showcase them to an audience, right? Hey, Kid Avalanche, how you doing? Hope the kittens are doing well. See here, well, if I'm part of a content creator Discord and have a ton of friends that I stream with, I'm trying to convince more to give Moonbeam a shot, but some of them are afraid of another live space situation. Yeah, live space fell apart. And I think that's a very valid thing, is, you know, it's interesting to think about. But I'm gonna make my case, right? The case I would make with Moonbeam, what's different about it is, one, we want people to multi-stream everywhere. So, you know, it should be a stream in Moonbeam and then everywhere else, right? We don't want anyone to give up where they're at. So we want to set the bar really low. The expectation is not that people take a chance or risk coming to Moonbeam and then something bad happens down the road and they feel like it's a waste of time. Now, we're not in a situation right now where we're going to close, or we have no plans of that. We have I think, a very viable path forward to grow and be around for a long time. So that's like the point number one, is we don't want people to just stream here. If they want to stream everywhere else, please do. You know, they can give it a shot, and that's where the realms, I think, are cool. Where like someone like you, Wolf, like you could have your realm, and then they just, you know, you can, as you get people to join your realm, like you're gaining a community, it's an audience kind of built in. And I was telling someone this the other day. If you think about our realm approach, it is the only streaming platform in the planet. It's the only one of its type that's built this way. And it's important. If I were to go on Twitch today, or Kick, or any other streaming platform like the old Live Space or something, and I have never streamed before, and I'm making an account there, and I hit go live, nothing happens. No one gets notifications. I hope people show up, and then I start to grind and build my audience. Okay, so you start with 0, and then you have to grow from there. When you think about Moonbeam, and think about it now, but also think about it in the future. In a realm that, let's say, Wolf or No Skills, you know, you have your realm, you're all realm owners, as you have people in there right now. Okay, so even right now, it's better than the alternative, because when you give someone the ability to stream into your realm for the first time ever, they've never been on Moonbeam, they're here a second, they make an account. The moment they go live in your realm, everyone in your realm gets notified. Boom, instantly. So I want you to think about this right now. If I were to give someone the ability to stream into the Moonbeam realm, there would be 1,300 people that get notified this person's live. All right. I want to think about like the power of that. What does that do for a streamer? Because what it says is the streamer should not be responsible solely by themselves to grow this audience and then perpetuate the grind that's required to like constantly put out content and like consistent schedule and stream all the time. That just leads to burnout. That's why streaming is unsustainable, and I believe, in the current model. The realm owner's role, that's why, again, I talked about it being the most important role, is to cultivate a community, to invite other creators, to collaborate, because what it does is it allows the streamers and content creators to make awesome stuff and not have to rely on the continual output of content to stay relevant to an audience. Because the realm is where everything's relevant, and the moment someone goes live for the first time, again, they are getting notified. Everyone in that realm is getting notified that this person has gone live there. And I think that's a really cool thing to think about. Like, it's the only platform that does that, where if you, it's like me saying, if I went onto a social media platform, you know, like on Blue Sky, for example, or X or Twitter, or, you know, any other, you know, on Threads or TikTok, like the first time I'm there and I send out a message, or no one gets nothing. There's no network But on Moonbeam, there's a built-in network, and I just think that's so cool to think about. And we're getting there. It's gonna take time, but again, that's like a selling point. Is when you go live on Moonbeam for the first time in someone's realm who invited you, other people know you're live. They know you exist. Hey, Sunbear, what's up? What's up? So good to see you. We're just talking about some things here. So anyway, let's see what else. Yeah, anybody got anything you want to ask me in chat? Let me know. Yeah, well, if this is stuff that we're building something new for the first time, and a lot of thought has gone into it, it's gonna take a while for us to get it right because there's no playbook. Like, you know, it's learning through experience, and then we have like ideas, and we're like really trying to think about the synergies of things, and so I'll be talking a lot about that a lot more. But yeah, that's kind of like that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why I think this is different, because if you look at all the other platforms, they're not different. They're just the same thing. It's like LiveSpace, cool. I think LiveSpace, their difference, I think, was they were like using blockchain for their infrastructure to like lower the cost of streaming and to make it like lower latency, something like that. But they're different. Their value prop was like, we have a better infrastructure that's more unique. You know, okay, cool. But fundamentally, it doesn't solve the other problems that the ecosystem is struggling with, which is burnout for creators, discoverability, community building, fragmentation across multiple platforms, all that stuff. Is there a public roadmap? You know, there should be one that's more like there. And I'm going to be honest, I'll probably taunt ourselves a little bit. We're building this thing as fast as we can go. And so there is, it's just very like chaotic. What do you get when you get a bunch of like creators and innovators and, you know, with a short, small team and we're trying, it's just kind of like, we got to go. But yes, noted. That might be something I bring up to Pat or something, you know. So there is, in theory, it's just very chaotic and it changes a lot. No skills. Any sub benefits plan to release soon? We're gonna have to be getting like some movement on that. Especially, I think my prediction that will become very high priority very shortly after the realm creation is like publicly rolled out. Again, that's like in the next few days, next week, because we're going to need that. So and a lot of these things, and this goes kind of back to the roadmap, a lot of these things kind of happen where we roll something out and there's like a cascading effect, if you will, and demands change. And when I say demands, I mean demands from the community. You'll notice very early on, there's a lot of demands for like the streaming quality and a lot of stuff about streaming, the quality, the bitrate, all that stuff. And so we've spent a lot of time like focusing on that. Hey, Rock Epidemic, welcome. Good to see you. I got about 10 more minutes, so if anybody has cool questions while I talk, think about them and just put them in chat. I'll answer them. So we focused a lot on streaming at the beginning of the, you know, open beta. We solved that and we get to like this good spot. Then we kind of like we're messing around with the public realms and whatnot, and we're experimenting, and now we're coming back to experiment a lot with the realm constructs. Okay. And I think the next like natural thing that will evolve is subs. Subs will have to be a part of that. I think some of the things like I'm advocating for, and again, this goes back to just like limited resources. And let me kind of step back a second and say also too, growth is very important, organic growth. And so like we're having to find ways to achieve that. And so things like notifications that help generate just engagement on the platform, people being able to talk, know when they're talking, that activity of just like, it feels alive. And then referrals to get people, and then, you know, realms, so anybody who comes here can build one and invite their friends. So there's always like competing priorities. And that's my way, no skills, of saying I would love for subs to be prioritized, and they're something we're talking about. And I think it'll become more important very, very soon. That's my hunch. And that's kind of how we operate right now, is based on like when these things bubble up, we kind of like play whack-a-mole. And we have our overall vision of where we're going with Moonbeam, but through the process, we're like trying to put out fires and improve things where we saw like, because we did this, it caused this effect, and we didn't think about that, and we got to fix it. So it is a fun time. Let's see here. Streaming quality is overrated. 360, 936p is where it's at. You know, no skills. Sometimes I feel you, but people want what people want, and so we want to take people's feedback and make sure that we act accordingly. Let's see here. The sub benefits made me think of another thing. Well, Moonbeam Plus being tied into that. So Moonbeam Plus is going to be like going live when we go live after open beta, right? So technically we're open beta, hence the term, but we're adding a lot of things. So like a lot of folks got Moonbeam Plus from the backer kit. That all kicks off and starts the clock, at open launch, at full launch. So let me see. What do you will Moonbeam Plus be tied in with that? Can you clarify, Wolf, what you mean? Do you mean like will there be benefits? We're looking at Moonbeam Plus of having a lot of benefits. Some of them we've announced, like we want to give matching a small like bonus of moonstones when people earn, if they have Moonbeam Plus, so it kind of like helps pay for itself. Also like ad free, and that might be somewhere where we put the higher quality stuff too for streaming. That's a possibility. I'm curious if you want to explain and just throw out an idea. I'd be happy to hear that. Will there be any way for people to post images in public realms? It'd be yes. Oh yeah, and No Skills got some good stuff. Moonbeam Plus for life, baby. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna make that a really cool thing. Sunbear, good news. Images are being worked on. I believe we're gonna be able to also post them and post themselves. So I want to say, I didn't mention this before, so I'm mentioning it now for the first time. Pat has been working on having images go and post. So you'll be able to post a post in a realm or a public realm, and it will have an image that you put. So yeah, like yes, that is a big one that we're working on, and I'm excited for that because sometimes I want to post a picture, and I think it's gonna be really cool. Because like right now, the only kind of image we have in post are like the thumbnails from a YouTube video or something, which looks really cool. I want to see like an image though. Like I want to post a picture of something. So yeah, Sunbear, that is coming very, very soon. I believe that feature is actually being PR'd, reviewed. It's in reviewed, the review stage by the engineering team. Wolf, let's see chat here. I was just asking if Moonbeam Plus would come out at the same time as sub benefits. Not sure. Hey, RPG match over there on where you at? On X. What's up? I see ya. Hello. I need to post pics of my baby. Yes, that'd be so cute. I would say sub benefits would roll out before Moonbeam Plus. And the reason is Moonbeam Plus is definitely a full launch thing. Sub benefits, I believe, are going to be like in open beta still. That we need to have before full launch. Let's see. I did see some of the benefits of the backer kit, and I'm curious if there will be things like that again. In the future, we'll see. I think the lifetime one is something like the lifetime. The Moonbeam for Life was only offered in the backer kit, but there might be other stuff that we can, look at before. And I think that's maybe something we'll talk about with the community before full launch. I want you to know that in my mind, this is great. These questions are great. Appreciate this. And if anybody else in chat, let me know what you think. And again, these are good things to talk about. I love to hear this stuff from the community. Sunbear, yeah, also sad about missing out lifetime Moonbeam Plus. Well, I will say this. Know that as we go forward, the most important people that I want to take care of before we go to full launch are the people in open beta. who've been with us through closed alpha, open, closed beta, and then open beta. So you all will get special treatment some way, shape, or form. I can't promise what that is. I don't know what it is. It's in my mind, and I think about it a lot. And I'm like, you know who's the best people for Moonbeam that I want to take care of forever? Is the people that have been with us in this early time. That's what I think, because I don't want to lose sight of where we came from and who helped us get here. And it's all of you. Like, one day, I know there will be people on Moonbeam with tons and millions of followers and all this jazz. Awesome success story. Hooray for Moonbeam and them. But I don't want to forget the people who actually were here at the beginning and who like stuck it through with us and made Moonbeam what it is. And that's all of you. So stay tuned. In case I missed it, will there be more language? Okay, let's see here. Rock. I'm going to go see. In case I missed it, will we be able to do more language tags for realms? I've been discussing getting some international friends to try Moonbeam. And the one thing that comes up a lot is being able to tag as Japanese or Chinese friendly. Do you mean like a tag, like you make a realm and you just put a tag in there? I think right now you could add any tag to your realm. You could like, I know there's like 5 suggestions. I think if you just type in and you hit save, it'll like save it as that. If not, if it's not doing that, let me know. I'm going to make note, and we'll have to make sure that people can customly tag their realms. Now, I cannot promise what the interaction will be with Pixis. Right now, Pixis does only work with, it does work with other languages. Believe it or not, we don't really know how well it's doing. So, like, I know we have some people that are Polish, and I think there's a Portuguese kind of realm, and some Spanish. It's done well. It's done well. It's like perform. It may miss, tag something, but it's doable for now. So that would be interesting. All right, let's see here. DJ Guns, do you think it might be interesting creating something for us where we can use short form content to help advertise realms? I've been using a platform that lets you create caption and post directly to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube right from their site. Interesting. Maybe with our clips? You think? DJ Guns, maybe that's something. Maybe I'll talk to the team, seeing if we could do some more robust feature thing on that. Yeah. Or, we'll think. Yeah, let me know. I'm curious what your thoughts are. And afterwards, if you have any suggestions or thoughts, put that. Yes, Taylor is helping a lot with outreach. So Taylor, you can tag her in the Moonbeam realm. She'd be good to talk to on that. And Sunbear, right at you. Big old heart. Yeah, self-tag feature suggestion. Yeah, and again, anything I talked about today or that you want to just reiterate, please put it in the Moonbeam realm in suggestions. I'm about to head out here to this meeting. Let's see here. The media kit. Taylor was out this week. She was in my chat earlier, but I'm going to ping her now and just remind her. Let's see here. Let's see here. Can we get a media kit posted as a post in the Moonbeam realm? All right. Yeah, I have just hit Taylor up. I asked her to see if we can get that media kit posted and post it in a post on the Moonbeam realm. That way it's a link that people can get and go into. It'll probably be like a Google Drive. You go into it, there'll be some imagery there. It'd be great to have it here. And I think it would help pass the word. Okay. Duly noted, DJ. I'm going to think about this. I'm going to talk about it with the team. So, yeah, no, absolutely, Wolf. Totally get that. Define, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, Taylor is going to be working on that. I'm just looking over here at our thing, and we're making sure we're good. Cool. Okay. I'm just clarifying some stuff. So yeah, media kit stuff will be getting put together. Taylor will be looking to get some logos and everything done. Yes, tagging in chat. There's some overworking stuff that will happen with chat. Yes, agree, Wolf, on that. Let's see here, Rock. Let me see. I want to get this. At least over at the Artist Arcade, it seemed to be restricted to the existing tags. Got it. I'll look into that too. Okay. Well, everybody, it's about time for me to head over to my meeting with Pat and the other folks on the team. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I always like doing this to talk and just chat on my lunch breaks or whenever I got a few minutes just to check in with everybody. Because again, we're building this for you, and hearing from you is the most important thing I can do, so we can make sure that the team and everyone is building this awesome home for all of us. So I'm excited about that. And I want to so badly. No Skills is gonna laugh. I want to so badly just like end my stream. It's always a bad habit, but I know it's gonna die. So I'm gonna go to the counter and I'll do the right thing, and then I'll end my stream. And Sunbear would probably laugh at me too for just ending. So all right, everybody, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.